I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. So we're continuing in Alma, we're reading the great war chapters between the Lamanites and the Nephites. And I will say, the reason why these are known as the war chapters, there have been a lot of other wars, but this is the only time where we kind of get a detail on the strategies of the Nephites and how they strategize in their battles. We don't really get that in other chapters. But right now, we've been reading, we're in the 28th year of the Judges. This is the third year of the war. The war started in the 26th year. So we're in the 28th year. Moroni, Teancum, and Lehi have just successfully retaken the city of Mulek in the east. Now we're going to turn briefly to the story of Helaman back in the west. This is chapter 57, and all we're going to do, we're going to read the first 5 verses, because we want to get it in the 28th year, right? What's going on at the same time? While Moroni is taking back the city of Mulek, what is going on in the west? Helaman recounts the taking of Antiparah and the surrender and later the defense of Cumeni. His Ammonite striplings fight valiantly, and all are wounded, but none are slain. Gid reports the slaying and escape of the Lamanite prisoners. And now it came to pass that I received an epistle from Ammoron the king, stating that if I would deliver up those prisoners of war whom we had taken, that he would deliver up the city of Antiparah unto us. But I sent an epistle unto the king, that we were sure our forces were sufficient to take the city of Antiparah by our force. And by delivering up the prisoners for that city, we should suppose ourselves unwise, and that we would only deliver up our prisoners on exchange. And Ammoron refused mine epistle, for he would not exchange prisoners. Therefore we began to make preparations to go against the city of Antiparah. But the people of Antiparah did leave the city, and fled to their other cities, which they had possession of, to fortify them. And thus the city of Antiparah fell into our hands, and thus ended the 28th year of the reign of the judges. So that's what's going on in the west in the 28th year of the judges. Remember, in the story of Helaman, they diverted the army that was in Antiparah out, and they had a big battle. The chief captain of the west was Antipas, but he is killed in this battle, and all the Nephite army that remains falls under the command of Helaman and his 2,000 stripling warriors. And they go back to the city of Judea, which is where they were, and they send the prisoners to Zarahemla. Now, Ammoron is seeing his biggest army was just decimated, and he sees that Antiparah is weak. The army that has been left there is not really sufficient to defend the city, and so he tries to give up. He wants to give up the city to get his army back, his men back. He wants the strength to his army, and he knows that the city is weak. He knows he can't defend it, and so he's trying to kind of trick Helaman into this very uneven exchange. When Helaman refuses, then those Lamanites left in the city of Antiparah, they just leave because they know they can't defend the city. And so rather than maintain a hopeless cause, they all retreat to other cities to strengthen those cities, and the Nephites simply take the city of Antiparah. They just walk in, no fighting necessary. And that is what is going on during the 28th year. So not a whole lot happening. Just like in the 27th year, there wasn't much happening out east. In the 28th year, there's not much going on in the west. But they do take the city of Antiparah without ever fighting. And as I say, I think it is because Ammoron knew there was not a sufficient force left in that city to actually defend it. And so did Helaman. They both knew that the Nephites were going to get it. And so rather than sacrifice more men, Ammoron pulls the men out of the city. Now, we're going to leave that there. We're turning back to the story of Moroni in the east, and that'll be our next video. So I will see you there.